is your girl Sherry, and welcome to We're Not in High School Anymore. If you have not already, go ahead and click that like and that subscribe button, and go ahead and stay updated and get those notifications when we are uploading podcasts. Also, another shout out is check me out every Thursday night on Facebook. I am in collaborations with another podcast called Smoke Vibes. If you would like that information, I am going to put it in the link below this video, and let's get to it. Hey everybody, welcome back. Have you ever wondered exactly what mental health is? What is the cause of it? Why people are committing suicide so much? Why are people saying that they're depressed and their anxiety is high? And why do they look down upon when someone is going through something? And we always joke about it and say, oh, they're just mental health. They're just mental health. Well, this video right here is to bring that awareness in and let you know exactly how some people are feeling. Some days people don't want to get out of bed. Some people just don't want to be bothered. It's the irritation. There's so much things that triggers why people go through what they go through, and the stress level and everything else that goes into it. Sometimes you feel like you just can't go on, and it's not because you just don't have the mentality to keep pushing and the mentality to fight. It's just the fact that at that moment you just feel like you can't go on and you just want to give up. And what I'm here today to do is bring awareness to exactly how we feel at those moments where when we feel like we don't want to answer the phone, we don't want to move, we don't want to just do anything. Like we just may lay in the bed. We may don't want to answer the phone. Don't even turn the TV on. Sometimes you don't want to take a shower. Sometimes it just feels like everything is closing in on you. And I understand. I go through that. And I go through that so much. And sometimes it's hard for us to explain it because people are wanting us to say, then there's a lot of people that said, I know it's a lot of people said to me, let's pray about it, or you can't do that, you can't let it get to you that bad. Sometimes you cannot help it. Sometimes you don't want to hear that, and it's okay for you not to want to hear it. It's okay not to be okay. But what people need to realize, and everybody else in the world needs to realize, that it's a real thing, and majority of anybody in the world actually goes through some point, some level of anxiety. I know for me, my coping skills with it, sometimes I have to actually like just get up and make myself get up, make myself go in and clean up, make myself like feel pretty. Sometimes you can cope with just putting makeup on. Like sometimes just go for a white walk outside. It's hard. It's actually hard for some people at their level of, however their level of anxiety is, to actually get up and do those things. So as a friend, what people need to realize is sometimes you just need to be there. Don't say a word, just there. Your presence sometimes stops and enables them to actually realize that they are loved, and they want to have that presence of someone just in case something does happen. I know for me, back in 2016, that was the hardest year for me. 2016, I went through where me and my husband finally decided to call it quits. I lost a job. And then I got caught up in some bad things. And in that moment where I just lost it, and remind you, I am a single mother. In that moment, I lost it. I called my sister one day and I was like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore. I was crying. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. And it was a hurtful feeling. Like, it was just hurtful. I felt like nobody was there for me. Nobody was listening. But that was all in my mind of me telling myself nobody wanted to hear me talk at that moment. And I just I was there as just holding up space in the world. So I wanted to end it all. I wanted to just let go and give up. I was actually contemplating on committing suicide. My sister and my mom took me to the hospital. At that point, I was gone. I didn't care about how anybody saw me at that moment because I was tired. Like, I was completely tired. The doctor came in. Do you feel like hurting yourself? And I completely said yes. Well, what were you going to do? I told him straight up I was going to drink some antifreeze. Knowing at that moment, yeah, it sounded good. But at that moment, I was completely I was exhausted with dealing with life, dealing with my kids, dealing with my husband, dealing with family issues, dealing with the legal issues I had going on. And I was to the point where I just wanted to let go. At that moment, I didn't want to hear anybody tell me, you're going to have to pray about it. You're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to let it go. At that moment, I just felt so much anger build up. I felt like I was suffocating. There was no one that could help me. There was no one that could say anything. I just wanted to leave the earth at that moment because I just felt like there was nothing here for me. I had no purpose. So when you get to that point, I remember when I did get there and I was in this mental institute and I started seeing people around me, and then at this point, I'm like, all right, so maybe I took a little too far. Because there are some people, like, their mental capacities, they are really, like, dealing with some real stuff in life. Like, they're really just out there. And I was like, I had to realize it wasn't that serious. Some people, and more than likely, more people are going through much worse than what we are going through. So you have to look at it and you have to actually take the bad in life. Like, I'm a person that I rather have some bad in my life because I would never understand and I would never learn a lesson if some bad didn't come. If some sad situations didn't come, we would never learn and never adapt to the behavior and adapt to what's coming with that situation. So you don't know how to cope with it. You wouldn't know how to handle it. So my advice to you is to look at it a different way. Turn it around. Look at it as, okay, I have to deal with this. There is something that I have to deal with it. Look at yourself first before you start saying and blaming everybody. Do not play the victim game in this situation. Although you may be a victim, but don't look at yourself as a victim, because if you look at yourself as the victim, that is going to put more stress, more anxiety on you, more worryation on you, and you don't need that at that point where you feel your lowest. At that point, you need to actually pull yourself out. Now, with me coping with it, I was there at that institute and the doctor told me, he was like, get a coloring book. And I was like, I'm a grown woman and you telling me to get a coloring book. But it helps. Like, when you're sitting there and you're coloring, you're concentrating on getting it right. You're concentrating on staying in the lines, and it takes your mind off of what you're dealing with. So now I do understand why he was saying get a coloring book. So you have to distract yourself from what you're distracted from. And I know that sounds crazy, but the distraction of what the situation is, why did you get depressed in the first place? You have to distract yourself from that. So when you're doing that, when you're completely just distracting yourself, I find myself excited to go to my kids' basketball games or go to their football games because it's an outlet. Like, nobody has to know what you're going through at that moment. Dress yourself up, look nice, do whatever you got to do. Nobody knows what you're going through. So that's another thing that I would love for people to realize is no matter what you're going through, the next person that you're sitting beside may be going through the same thing. So don't judge anybody. I am a person that I don't judge anybody. I cannot say your past is your past. And when we start realizing that our past is our past and we let go of all the hurt that was given to us, everything that somebody put us through in our past, and we actually walked away from it, realize that you walked away from it and you're still breathing. So at that point, let it go. I had to learn that the hard way, where I was so angry. I was so angry with my husband. I was so angry with him, and which is my ex-husband. But I was so angry with him at the point that he left me. He left me with 4 kids. He left with no, he's not doing anything for me, and he's not doing anything. And I had to realize that it's okay. At that point, it's okay, because I made it. And I'm still here. So when you start looking at things, you got to really look at the positive from it. When we start pulling positive and we start looking at everything positive, even when we get in those bad situations, we get deep down, depressed, don't want to eat, we don't want to do anything, you have to pull yourself up. You have to get yourself together. I don't care if you just go walk through Walmart. Right now, wear a mask when you go walk through Walmart, but just get out. Go do something. Go to the park. Go get a coloring book. Read a book. Do something that is less, just do something that you feel like it will make you feel somewhat have a purpose to be here. Just get out of the rut. The good is okay. Everybody feels good when things are going good. But what I need for you to do, and me as well, because I'm still that person that's still learning as well, you got to find out how to deal with the bad, how not to go into our depressions, how not to get so overwhelmed at that moment where we just want to just snap. You can't let anybody or anything take that control of you. You got to learn to control everything and be in control of your life, and things will get so much better. And like I was saying, when I was going through my situations, the doctor told me, he was like, you're bipolar. And because I can jump into a mood and then jump out of a mood. And I realized that, yeah, I am. And I used to think it was so bad to even let anybody know. But now, at that moment, like, that's the first thing I have to let people know. Look, you really don't want to go there, because I need you to understand, if you're going to be with me or if we're going to be friends, I need you to understand my level of what I go through and how I can. If I go into a mood, I'm not blowing you off. If I go into a mood, I'm not saying that I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be with you anymore. I just need you to understand I need that time for myself to get myself together, because I don't want to make you feel like you're less of a person, because I know how that feels. Now, at that moment, if they are a real friend to you, they're going to learn how to help you cope. They're going to see the signs. They're going to see the triggers that you're about to go through. They're going to see how you go from 0 to 100. Like, they're going to understand and be able to help you get through it. And that's a true friend. If you can find any of those, I know it's kind of hard to find true friends. I have found friends in my family. They have learned to deal with and learn how to understand. And it's not hard. It's not like We are so toxic to people. There are people that actually can cope with you and adapt to you and love you. And if those people can't, then they don't need to be in your life anyway. So today I challenge you to find a outlet, find a way to cope, find someone to speak to, find someone to talk to about it. Hey, I'm here. Just comment below in the video. If you need me to talk to you personally, you have my Instagram. It'll be in the video, my Facebook, where you can send me a quick message, and I guarantee you I'll get back to you. Just some of the things that I go through and some of the things and how I cope, I can give you some of those. Mental health is not a bad thing. It's never have been a bad thing. It's just the fact that people don't understand it. And there's no person in this world can actually tell me they don't have some level of mental health, because everybody go through stress, everybody go through anxiety. So at some point someone goes into some kind of depression. So you're not alone. Never think that you are alone in this thing and you're just going through and you're just so different that nobody wants to be around you, nobody wants to deal with you. That's not true. What people need to realize is that this is real. And what people need to realize is that we can all be in the same world, same time, if the judgment just stop and people actually get to know someone and actually get the resources and understand the resources. Because at the point of the world today and the way that the world is going, if you're different from somebody, that makes you the strange one, when all we need to do is be educated on everything and stop judging before we get to know someone. And that is my podcast for today. I hope you are inspired. I hope that you are loved. I hope that you understand your purpose. I hope that you have a great day. Stay safe out here. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and make sure you stay safe. Love you. Bye.